What is going on, you guys? NASCAR EJ coming to you once again from NASCAR Tube. Two great finishes in a row, and we're going into a week off. Let's get this show rolling. Wow, man, what two exciting races to have in a row. We had Fontana with a last lap pass from Brad Keselowski winning the race. Total upset win, I suppose. I mean, the guy's record at Fontana was terrible, or at Auto Club rather. Just amazing how he made that last lap pass. And Kurt Busch, I was really happy to see. And my pick for the race win was actually Kevin Harvick, and I was really kind of pulling for Kurt Busch there at the end of that race, and I'm telling you, he would have won if that caution had not come out. I'm pretty sure, and I think we all know that. But wow, what a finish in that race! And then we go a week later to Martinsville, and the battle between about the last 10 laps between Denny and Brad at the front, and they ended up Denny come victorious. But that was some good old Martinsville classic racing, and I think NASCAR almost kind of redeemed themselves this past 2 weeks with having two great races after kind of almost two not so exciting races at Atlanta and Vegas. But even Phoenix was a good race as well, so put that in three. But now we're going to a week off, and really excited to see what comes next for at Texas. Now, to clear up on Kyle Larson's condition, if you don't recall, Kyle Larson he fainted at Martinsville after an autograph session on Saturday, and ended up he did not get to race on Sunday. He went back to Charlotte and went to the hospital. Doctors were doing testing on him. Just as far as we know, he just fainted after the autograph session, is what we've heard. And ended up, those tests come back. He's cleared to race, but he just suffered from a severe case of dehydration. And that kind of makes me think of what happened to Jimmy Johnson back last year at Richmond during the race before the chase started last year. Jimmy got out of the car and just basically just fell. I mean, he just got dehydrated. And for some reason, I don't know if it's kind of a myth thing or something, but short tracks, man, they're bad. I mean, they work you out apparently. Now going to the safety of the racetracks now, and the safety barrier issue that we've been having ends up that Texas Motor Speedway has announced that they are adding 250 feet more of safety barriers around the inside walls of the track. And I think that's great. I mean, the more safety barriers to me, the better. I mean, it keeps the driver safe. And also, Bristol came out and said that they were putting safety barriers completely around the whole outside barrier of the track. And it's, to my knowledge, don't hold me against it, but to my knowledge, I think they already have safety barriers on the pit lane walls. As you know, Bristol has two pit lanes, and I'm pretty sure that they actually have had safety barriers on the inside of those walls as well. Because how many times do we see them come out of a current turn and get loose and go straight to the inside wall at that track? So, but I mean, I don't think it's coming to the point to where you're going to have to say you're going to have safety barriers around every single part of the track. I mean, that's coming, and I think they're going to have to stop being so. How cheap can we get it? I mean, they're going to have to actually go all out and put safety barriers around the whole track. And I don't think until they do that, things are going to get any better. But moving on to the biggest news of the week, most likely will be RCR was penalized, Richard Childress Racing, with Ryan Newman, and supposedly the number 33 team on that team was penalized for tire bleeding. Now, we do know that RCR is appealing the P5 penalty. Now, what basically tire bleeding was you have Auto Club Speedway, which is a 2-mile, basically super speedway. You're running 200 miles per hour, and you're going to have a long green flag runs at this track. I'm sure they do it at Atlanta, Michigan. I mean, you see the resemblance of those tracks. But you have long green flag runs at those tracks most likely. And basically what they're doing is they're putting little bitty microscopic holes in the tires. Because at those tracks, they try to run the lowest tire pressure possible. So, because when you speed up and when the car goes 200 miles per hour or at any fast speed, if that tire is rotating, it is generating heat. And air expands, of course, when it gets hot. I know I don't mean to try to give you a science lesson here, but it's helpful information, I guess. But the tire expands. Air expands when things get hot. So the biggest thing is they want the most grip they can get, especially how bumpy Auto Club Speedway is in Atlanta. So they're looking for the most grip possible. So they lower the tire pressure. I remember last year when they were racing there at Fontana, you could actually, when they were going across the backstretch, towards the end of the backstretch, and where those heavy bumps are, you could literally, in slow motion, you could see the tires rivet. Kind of like when they show a slow-mo launch of a slow motion launch video of Top Fuel dragsters, and you see just the tire almost rivet and go flat. That's basically it. Wasn't that bad, but it kind of looked like that, and just shows you how low the tire pressure was in those tires. I didn't really see that this year, but long green flag runs at Auto Club, and surprisingly, we had more cautions than anything. But uh, here's my opinion to that. I agree with NASCAR 100%. Do not alter the tires. And for one, I think it's disrespect to Goodyear. I mean, they come in and they bring the best tire they have and put it on these cars, the Goodyear Eagles. And NASCAR's been with the sport for many years now. I mean, it's longer than I've been following it. And so you don't mess with tires. I mean, I don't think I'm going to go out here and put a brand new set of Michelin or Goodyears on my car and start altering them and then changing them because maybe it will ride a little better. You know, you don't want to do that. Well, for one, that'd be my personal car. But you're talking about national recognition of a tire. I mean, you're sponsoring the tire, and Goodyear wants the recognition of saying, hey, look how good these tires hold up on these Sprint Cup cars going 200 miles per hour around the track. I mean, not most tires are going to hold up at 200 miles per hour very long. So it's kind of a respect thing for Goodyears to me. I just, that's my opinion. I mean, if I was Goodyear, I mean, I'd be pitching a fit more about it than NASCAR would. And who knows, Goodyear might be saying something about it, but you just don't mess with things. I mean, it's kind of like going to a dinner table and someone cooks a nice meal and then, well, you say, well, can I have cheese to put on this? Well, it's just not very proper. So, yeah, that's kind of my opinion about that. But I think it's kind of a more respect thing for Goodyear myself. I mean, you just don't go altering things when they don't need altering, or they may not need altering. So I understand where they were getting that from. And Luke Lambert has been suspended for 6 races, and the tire engineer was suspended, and Lambert was fined $125,000, and Newman and the whole team was penalized 75 points, and that knocked them way back into the chase standings. But so really, I mean, they're kind of in the shoes of what last year was with. I mean, it's early in the season, thank goodness, but they're kind of in the same shoes Harvick and Tony Stewart was last year, saying, if you're so far back into the points, you're going to have to win a race to get into the chase most likely. I mean, you're really not going to fight your way up. So, Ryan, you may not fight your way up this year. You're going to have to win, I'm afraid. And I may be wrong, but unless you have a whole bunch of guys have bad luck in front of you, you're going to have to win a race to get into the chase. Now going on to the race winners. First off, we'll go to Auto Club Speedway, where Brad Keselowski ended up being victorious at Auto Club Speedway. Man, what a finish. And I'm telling you right now, we all learned that day that 4 tires is the way to go at a track like that. No matter if you've got 5 laps to go or 20 laps to go. 4 tires is the way to go. And I applaud Paul Wolf, his crew chief, for making that call. And you deserved that race, in my opinion, for making that call. You led 1 lap, and it ended up being the last one, and that's the only one counts. So, but really good call. If Kurt Busch, man, it was almost a heartbreaker, but they ended up finishing 3rd. So, it wasn't a bad day, but and really most improved, man. Kurt just, man, I think we're all kind of Kurt Busch fans right now because we're all kind of warmed up to what's happened in the past few months. But you know, Kurt, always remember that the NASCAR community is always here, and you know, you've done bad things in your past, and you've overcome them by the NASCAR community being there. And I know there's some people in the NASCAR community that are that are rough on you, but you see how we were with your boss, Tony Stewart, and um, you know, whether you're a Tony Stewart fan or not, you're a Tony Stewart fan when something goes wrong, and you're a Kurt Busch fan when something goes wrong, and we know we were falsely accused of it, and and you know, just hang in there and stay with it. Tony Gibson on top of the pit box is a wonderful pick for uh, for Kurt on that number 41 Haas Automated Chevrolet team. But I kind of like the way Kurt says that. I just like to say it myself. It's our number 41 Haas Automated Chevrolet did great today, and that's just it always rings in my head. And I don't know if I just listen for Kurt's post race interviews or not, but I'm always looking for him. Um, I think we all kind of got used to seeing the Kurt that was always mad about something when he got out of the car, but I'm really liking his new Kurt. I'm really feeling it. Seeing him get out of the car and really enjoy being there, and really makes me happy that Kurt's doing a good job. And not to mention he did pretty good at Martinsville this week. So, you know, um, applause to Kurt and that number 41 team over at Stewart Haas Racing. But my pick for Fontana or Auto Club was Kevin Harvick, and he ended up finishing second. And what a man! That was a great finish. I mean, you saw Keselowski pass. He passed, I think it was 12 cars on the last restart, or maybe in the last two restarts in the last two green white checkers. He passed a total of 12 cars, and that just shows you how good fresh tires work. But Kevin Harvick, my pick, finished second. That made it his eighth top two finish, and that's where it ended. Because the next week at Martinsville, he did not finish second, and I think he finished eighth. I'm just guessing right now. I don't have the final listing in front of me, but going on to Martinsville, boy, the finish was awesome. And not much of the rest of the race was interesting, but and I felt bad for Dale Jr. He just had a terrible day coming after he was the defending winner of that race, or the previous Martinsville race. But Kurt Busch was actually the previous winner of that race, the STP 500. And Kurt had a pretty good day. Well, he was up there staying up front most of the day, and just couldn't get it finished. But Dale Jr., man, oh man, shifter problems. He got caught in a wreck and just had a terrible day. And what about Chase Elliott? And that almost broke my heart to see Chase. But he's got a few more races this season, and just really did not have a great day. I started early. I believe he had power steering problems, and just got caught in a little incident with Brett Moffitt taking Brian Vickers' spot. And actually, we didn't talk about Brian Vickers, but Brian Vickers is sitting out of the race car now for blood clot issues again, and don't know when he's going to return. But we really wish Brian Vickers well recovery, and want to see him back on the track here pretty soon. But that's another story. Just there's so much going on, and these staggered broadcasts for every other week is you got a lot of information to talk about in 1 week. But so look for longer videos. I mean, right now we're getting close to 15 minutes, but really good races these past 2 weeks, and we had a week off, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, but follow me on Twitter at NASCARTube. We'll follow the channel on Twitter, NASCARTube, and follow me on Twitter at NASCAREJ. And I believe the channel just had a tweet a while ago that said that I was recording. But just really great that that Kurt and everybody else, and and then what about Denny Hamlin winning the race? Can't forget about that. And JGR, that's been the first win since Denny won at the first win for Toyota since Denny won at Talladega back in almost a year ago. So it's almost a win. I think it was 33 races drought that they had not won in, and really excited for JGR. Maybe this is a JGR turning spot, and Carl. All those guys finished well, and uh, Kansas finished towards the front, and Reagan finished fifth. How about that? I mean, David Reagan finished fifth in Kyle Busch's car, in the M&M's car, but Carl, Carl's just not very good at Martinsville, and he'll tell you straight up, he's just not very good at Martinsville. Never has been, but even then, I mean, we said that about Matt Kenseth last year or 2 years ago, and you know he come pretty close. That was it's pretty amazing that you can take some of the worst tracks and that the driver's been on the past few years and then put them in another car and they totally change it. And it's just like Kurt Busch last year at the same race at Martinsville, and I remember at the victory going around on the radio, he says, "Martinsville, really? We won in Martinsville?" And after all the troubles they went through last year with the little feud between Matt Kenseth, my phone's going off, excuse me, but it's crazy. That's amazing to see that you can put another driver in another car and they can actually do that well. Now that's the kind of racing I was looking for on that last lap of Martinsville, and I mean you're talking good old-fashioned Martinsville. I mean Brad was either going to have to bump him to win that race, and Brad he tried. He really tried. Tried to get up to the bumper. It ended up that Brad was better on the entrance of the corner, but then he got off way better. And it almost looked like the beginning of that run, before that last, after that last restart, that Brad had the better car. But it looked like Denny had it a little better on a longer run, and Brad fought for that, and I give him credit for that. And Brad fought for it, and but he hit him on the last lap coming out of the corner, and even then, I mean I don't think he was either going to go in the wall or hit him, and he hit him, but knocked him loose though. That was interesting. I love that finish, man. I love Martinsville finishes like that, and really really good Martinsville finishes when they drag race the finish. Those are the fun ones, but but no, but I do want to congratulate Brad on his win at the Auto Club 500, and I do want to congratulate Denny Hamlin for winning the STP 500 at Martinsville. That makes Denny Hamlin's fifth win at Martinsville. Dominant racetrack for him, and complete opposite for Brad Keselowski at Auto Club. And then his best finish before the win was 18th. 18th. And never would. I mean, he was a true odds out. I mean, not really one that you would have thought that you would have thought would have won. But both of my picks, I thought I was going to do well. Even Kevin Harvick was on the way to win. He finished second. He was my pick at Auto Club, and then Jeff Gordon was my pick at Martinsville. Ended up, if that last caution hadn't, well, take that back. If he had not got caught speeding on pit road, I think my pick would have won. I think Jeff Gordon would have won that race. But that's the classiness of Jeff Gordon right there. He got out of the car and he says it was totally my fault. He says it was a driver error on my part, and I just absolutely sped on pit road, and they'll gun it into getting into the box, and he took full blame for it, and that's classy right there, and that shows you a Hall of Fame driver right there, and just it's amazing to see. It's still mind-boggling that this time next year you're not going to see Jeff Gordon on the track in that number 24 car, but Chase Elliott's got a lot of growing to do, I think. But this was one race that he just had bad luck in, and we'll see how he does in the next one. But anyway, guys, I do want to thank you for joining me today. Please like, subscribe, and favorite this video. Share the video, please, and get the word out. Get this channel out here, and we're not very big yet, but all it takes is one notoriety person or a notoriety channel or Twitter name to like or favorite or retweet the tweet, retweet the videos, and it only takes one in order to get the video out there. But um, really want to thank you for watching, and as always, y'all have a nice day.